I have a practical question now. Like my mom, for example, she really thought, it's probably the wrong thing to send us to school and so on. And I still think if I have kids, what to do in that sense? Is it better to let them live according to their varna, like if they like to be outside and so on, just leave them, or is it nowadays still needed that we send our kids to school?
We should be very strong and very clear that the type of education which is recommended in the Shastra, we should provide that type of education to our own children, which to a large extent we are not all over the world actually. And therefore even non-devotees are understanding and turning towards homeschooling. More and more people in the Western world understand how modern education is just not at all ideal for so many reasons. And they prefer introducing the concept of homeschooling. The idea is that the more we live according to what is recommended in the Shastra, the more we live according to what is described, especially in Vrindavan, then automatically we get to introduce what is meant to be the real type of education. And therefore, students or young people or even older people, at any time that they want, they can get the kind of so-called modern education that is there. But we as devotees and as parents, as devotee parents, we should try to provide, more and more devotees are choosing also homeschooling for their children. Or we should think directly in terms of, these two forms of education, one being Gurukul, for those who have that natural inclination, or it's only when we can create communities that we can give the opportunity to our children to be raised in a more natural type of environment. It's not so easy to abruptly, it's not possible, I would say, to abruptly make that kind of change, but we should be conscious of we should know what is the ideal, and we should basically work towards coming as close as possible to that ideal. Homeschooling is definitely more in line with what the Vedic culture is teaching us, as opposed to allowing or sending our children to modern day public school. Yeah. So that's for each community in our cities, and ultimately each parent to decide. But we have a responsibility as a society, and we're not doing a very good job at that, to actually provide the kind of education that is recommended actually in the Shastra. But that type of education is not possible unless we create the proper types of communities, and we are very slow in doing that. So therefore, on the long run, who will suffer? Well, our children will suffer. The future generations, if we're not working on the basics, if we're not preparing for the future, if we're not laying the foundation based on what Prabhupada has given us and explained and what is there in the Shastra, then we are furthering, we're rendering ultimately a disservice to our own especially to our children, who have to were forced to be exposed to all of the demoniac elements of modern day society, which are largely present in modern day educational system as well. It's a major topic of importance that more of our devotees, more of our leaders within the society need to address. System